Justice, which focuses on civil rights for Asian Americans through advocacy, education, and litigation. And with that, I want to welcome all of our witnesses today, and thank you for being here this morning. Mr. Shedd, you are now recognized for your opening remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman Molinar, Ranking Member Khanna, distinguished members of the Select Committee on China. Thank you for this opportunity to speak today about one of the most pressing threats in the free world, China's unprecedented campaign of industrial espionage, that is. As former acting director of the Defense Intelligence Agency who spent decades in the intelligence community and on the National Security Council staff, I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak today about this epic campaign to steal America's industrial secrets. In 1984, Deng Xiaoping, the successor to Chinese Communist Party Chairman Mao Zedong, reset the strategic direction of the CCP. His vision has been implemented by successive Chinese leaders, including Xi Jinping, since 2012. Deng underscored that China would retain ideological stability, code words for the CCP's single-party rule, but would introduce managed capitalism under socialist guardrails to enable social transformation. China's economic transformation took off in earnest once China joined the World Trade Organization in December 2001, during the period that I was in the White House NSC staff. Since then, China has orchestrated a highly strategic, highly accelerated, and multifaceted effort to steal commercial and technological secrets from the United States and other Western nations. The campaign, which blends cyber espionage, human intelligence, academic collaboration, and commercial investments, has been instrumental in propelling China's rapid economic and military rise. Since joining the WTO, China has transformed from an economic backwater into a global superpower, leveraging stolen technology and property to dominate critical technologies such as telecommunications, artificial intelligence, quantum computing, hypersonic weapons, biotechnology, and yes, even in the agriculture sector. No commercial area is out of bounds for China's reach. China's approach is unique and revolutionary. Unlike traditional espionage that I know a little something about, which typically targets government-to-government classified information, Beijing has adopted this whole-of-society strategy. Under Xi, the security and intelligence capabilities of the Ministry of State Security have ballooned in size, vastly outstripping the CIA, the NSA, the DIA, and the FBI. Their mandate is to carry out the world's greatest and grandest larceny. The CCP strategy fuses military and civilian collection objectives, and the People's Liberation Army has the first rights to use purloined commercial proprietary intelligence to enable its vast military modernization. Corporate America, professors, academic researchers are all fair targets for the MSS. The CCP has weaponized venture capital, private equity, and academic partnerships to acquire sensitive technology, research and development, and intellectual property that it could not obtain legally. This decentralized but highly strategic collection method, combined with theft, graft, hacking operations, has allowed China to leapfrog the West in key areas of innovation. The implications of the campaign, this campaign is profound. Emerging technologies are the battlegrounds of great power competition today, and China's theft of secret threats the theft of the secrets threatens not only the national security of Western nations, but also the competitive standing of their companies in the global marketplace. As former Attorney General Eric Holder aptly stated, there are only two categories of companies affected by the trade secret theft from China: those who know that they've been compromised and those who don't. Yet many private sector leaders remain oblivious to the long-term consequences of fueling Chinese economic superiority in pursuit of short-term profits. Western governance and security apparatuses have failed to react appropriately to safeguard against the CCP's steadily evolving campaign of theft. Traditional legal and regulatory frameworks are ill-suited to address the modern tactics employed by China, making prosecution of trade theft cases difficult, even when evidence is overwhelming. As Secretary of State Marco Rubio has warned, American companies are committing corporate suicide, and I quote, by failing to prioritize IP security and guard their assets. This is not just a commercial war. It is a unilateral campaign by China to reshape and dominate the global order. In The Great Heist, my co-author Andrew Badger and I document this systematic campaign driven by initiatives such as Made in China 2025, which was launched in 2015 and represents, according to former FBI Director Chris Wray, the largest transfer of wealth and knowledge in history, estimated to be about $600 billion annually. While direct military confrontation is not inevitable, the risk of a hot war over Taiwan grows with each passing day. CCP Chairman Xi has declared his intent to reunite the island by 2027. And of course, this could happen even sooner. Such a conflict would likely involve deployment of new lethal technologies and could target the American homeland itself. I urge policymakers and U.S. corporate leaders to recognize the gravity of these PRC-CCP actions and take decisive actions to protect our national interests and secure the future of the free world. I welcome your questions, and once again, thank you for the opportunity to be a part of this very important hearing. I yield back.
Thank you very much. Mr. Lucci, you may proceed.
Chairman Molinar, Ranking Member Khanna, and members of the committee. My name is Michael Lucci. I'm the founder and CEO of State Armor, a nonprofit that works with state governments to protect the American homeland. My message is simple. The American homeland is contested. States are on the front lines of this contest. And the Chinese Communist Party is exploiting vulnerabilities at the state and local level that can go overlooked here in Washington, D.C. My remarks will focus on pre-positioning near critical assets, influence operations, their impact on state institutions, state protective responses with a focus on Nebraska and Texas, and finally, the pressure campaigns that have been put upon the state lawmakers who've enacted these protective responses. First, on pre-positioning, federal leaders have been very clear that the Chinese Communist Party is pre-positioning on critical infrastructure and creating vulnerabilities in our supply chains. What state leaders find is that they are also physically pre-positioning near military installations.